Hey, you guys. It is your favorite CEO, Miss Flo, back again. See how we're starting to build a routine? Back again on Twitch, where you can listen and watch your new favorite podcast, Go with the Flow. This is a podcast where I talk about anything and everything from the trending news topics from this week and giving my review of one of my favorite TV shows and movies that I have watched so far. It has been a busy week, a good week, mostly because it's been great. So I had a chance to rest, refresh, take care of some things for my publication, to get some things moving in the right direction for sure. Again, I have my co-host, Aneara, formerly known as Ziggy. We're about to dive into that. I shared a little bit on my little that test run on Mario, but I'm gonna let Anira explain. So Anira, if you could reintroduce yourself to the public.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aneara, and I am happy to be here again. It's been a long time since y'all last saw me, and not to confuse anyone, but I just want to reintroduce myself as Aneara, no longer Ziggy. I don't want to confuse anybody, but that's what I go as now. Thank you.
Right. Do you want to go and share why?
Okay, so I have recently been informed that my name Ziggy was inspired by Ziggy, the character Ziggy Stardust created by late David Bowie. But I had recently found out that David Bowie had some but minors today. Not I don't know of to his knowledge or uh not, but it just didn't rub me the right way. So I just had to get rid of that part of myself.
Just kind of like just eliminate yourself from that situation if it is true.
Yeah.
I did do some research when you told me, and there were some articles talking about it. So it's kind of like, ooh, but
Yeah.
in no way defending them. It was like it's the 70s. Nobody was really vetting or checking up on anything. So it wasn't there wasn't like the same type of protections and guards that we have now. But at the same time, it's like you're a whole grown rocker. It's like why you hanging with the minors? Why you letting the minors
It's just
back there?
like add some accountability. It's just weird. It's just weird. I just don't really mess with that.
Right.
So I just eradicated it.
That's fair. But it's good to have you back on the show. As you said, it has been a while. You've been very busy, been doing some amazing work at school, and just I'm just glad to have you back on the show. We have a lot to talk about, so I just want to go ahead and dive into a few things. Well, let's start off with the good news first. Okay. Always like to start with the good before we go into the heavy material. First off, Martin Lawrence, one of the most iconic black entertainers that we have like in my lifetime. He finally gets his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Wow.
It's about time. I feel like this kind of a little bit overdue, mostly because like if you just think of his career, like it is has I feel like it should be up there with Eddie Murphy a little bit,
Yeah.
because like you look from Def Jam comedy to Martin to the Bad Boys franchise, like even Big Mama House, like he has been such a huge staple in the black culture that like I feel he should probably got his star. Did Eddie Murphy get his star yet?
I honestly do not know. I can look it up real quick.
Yeah, because I feel like Eddie got his star. I just feel like it should have been a little bit sooner, but like I'm glad that he has it now. I feel like, we don't really I mean, granted he's kind of been very low key in recent years. We know we're supposed to get like a Bad Boys 4 sometime soon. if Will behaves himself.
Okay,
So
so Eddie Murphy does have a Hollywood star. He got his in 1996.
but you see what I'm saying? Like I feel like that was around the time where Martin was really out there, like you know what I mean? Especially to have co-starred with Eddie Murphy and some other big names.
Okay, but
But
you gotta take this into account. Like Martin Lawrence has been like he got big in the 90s. That was 30 years ago. But Martin Lawrence did take a break. I don't know if like he could have got it in the 2000s or anything, but he did take a break, and he wasn't really in the limelight back then, like due to all the controversies behind the like what happened behind the Martin show with Tisha Campbell and all that,
mm,
like stuff like that. Like I guess he's getting his start now because he's like coming back out. And has he done anything recently?
um
Martin reunion.
yeah, the
The
Martin
Martin
reunion,
reunion.
it was a very obscure, like almost indie film that he did with Zac Efron. It's some like like the beach bums type thing.
Are you
And
sure that's not real? There's no way in this universe that Martin Lawrence has a movie out with Zac Efron. That's
I'm
not
telling
real.
you, I'm telling you right now. Hold on, let me look it up. Hold on, Martin. Because like I remember it coming out, it's like, oh, there's Martin Lawrence and Zach. Yeah, it's the Beach Bums. It came out in 2019. It, Snoop Dogg is in it
Oh,
with Matthew McConaughey. That is a thing. That is a real movie that came out. I think it was kind of. It only got like 3 stars. But I'm saying it does exist. So if you have nothing else to watch, if you want to see what that concoction looks like, feel free to do so. But that does exist.
okay.
I,
I'm not.
it, I mean,
I'm gonna take my comments. I'm gonna say my comments. I ain't gonna say that.
but yeah, I mean, I'm just glad that he got his start in his recognition because, like I say, I feel like Martin gets referenced a lot. It's still the reruns still come on BET and I believe
Mhm.
TV1, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
still circulating. See, I think that's probably like, what do you think Martin Lawrence is best known for in general?
Martin. Martin.
Right.
He's best known for Martin and his characters that he portrayed on Martin. Like I love that we're finally recognizing iconic black entertainers and giving them their props. I feel like 2020. I feel like this year, not this year, but recently we've been like doing that a lot. To see it, I love seeing the girls and the boys from back in the day getting their props now. Even though it's long overdue, I'm still glad they're getting their recognition, regardless.
It's like, let's put their names in the history books before those books get banned. You know what I mean? Type deal.
Um,
So, yeah, so I just want to start off just with that, positive note because I think that we really, really needed that. Somebody else that definitely deserves their kudos. Sasha Covey, she won Drag Race, and it's like, duh. I mean, it was strongly predicted that she would take the crown from the jump. She is our favorite drag queen's favorite drag queen. She has built up such a legendary reputation even before the show and even stirred the pot as soon as she was announced to be on the show. It did not disappoint at all. It is well deserved. And I think now in a climate where the trans community has been really under attack in the United States, not just with violent crimes, but with legislation. For her to win the crown now seems very apropos. I believe I'm saying that right. And it's very exciting to see what she does with her run for sure. And I believe she's the fourth trans winner. I believe so, because you had like Willow Pill. Um, so Neek Love and oh my God, she's in the back of my head. But no, I think their pronouns are they them. They won the winter season of All Stars. He's gonna do this. I did this last episode. Like I could picture it, but pulling some names has been a struggle bus. What is I'm gonna edit this part out once I put it on YouTube, just FYI. Like what is her name? She redhead, she was the season 5 winner.
For my film?
Yes, Jinx Monsoon. There we go. I couldn't pull that out for nothing. I believe they are non-binary. So yeah, so we have like now 4 trans winners um on Drag Race. And this is just after years of Drag Race being or accused of being somewhat exclusionary to the trans community. So it's good that they are having that representation uh on TV. So what do you think of Sasha Colby's run on Drag Race?
I think her run was like was usher. It was not. It was good. She had a good run. I never saw her in the bottom. She Her runways were great. I think she brought something fresh and exciting. I was looking forward to. She was one of the person. Every week you're looking forward to someone's runway. She was one of the persons for me.
Mhm.
Um, am I surprised she won Drag Race? No. And that's the only reason why. Like I felt like this was too predictable.
Mm, I think the crowd would be more upset because like I'm looking at like the final 4. Um, you had Anitra, Noir, Lux, London, and uh,
I
Miss
mean, Lux
Elizabeth
Noir,
Brooks.
just Elizabeth Brooks.
Elizabeth Brooks. I botched up her name last week too. So sorry.
Mm.
That is not my congenial error. So sorry. But yeah, I thought like the final 4 was somewhat strong. I didn't well, I knew with Brooke and choreography just don't go together. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so like I didn't really see her like make it to like the final 2. It was like a toss up between like Anitra and Lux because I think they're both good in their own right. It's just a, like with like who else would you that could have been like a toss up interchangeable of who could have did the final face off with Sasha because she's
We
such
all knew that Sasha was gonna make it.
with just a bikini.
And you gotta understand.
But
You
I
gotta
mean,
understand, like I was watching her lip sync. I can't even say that she did her thing. She did her big one. She's a performer.
mhm.
It's just what she does, and she just has that it factor. But like, it's so like I'm not mad that she won. It was just like I'm happy that she won. Sasha Kobe won Drag Race. Period.
But I think it was just like the competition. I think like what we're kind of seeing is like maybe some of the competition the other girls may have not been on the same level as her, so it made it like she's clearly the obvious choice. Although I
Yeah.
will give it up for Anitra for doing a different type of reveal. I like that she did like because I wasn't expecting it at all. I'm just like, oh, is it going to be like zip down, but like the whole pulling her heart out and like swinging it around, that was very different. Um, what did you think about uh Baby Doll Fox getting Miss Congenial?
No. Should have went to either Spice or Sugar.
Some people were saying Miss Fears.
I mean, yeah, Robin is nice, but she's not a personality. She doesn't have a personality for real, for real.
and she didn't have like a longer stay. I
Yeah.
feel Sugar or Spice. Was Spice really congenial?
Yes. Or Anisha could have won that for Saving Spice. That was a congenial moment right there.
Yeah.
Anisha could have won.
True. That would be. I think. Well, who would count as like being congenial? Because I feel like if you're in the final four, we ever never had like congenial and winner. Because some people were saying, or maybe even Sasha should have got it as well or been up for that. But I think if you're in the final four, they don't really like put you in the congenial category. Um, it seems like.
Mhm.
What do you think? What do you think disqualifies Miss Baby Doll Fox from being Miss Congeniality?
I just didn't get that from her. I just felt like during her run, it was just given like I don't want to be that person because she said that they were bullying her. I didn't get that. I thought they
Mhm.
were having a key. I thought they were kikiing.
Mhm.
Doing their doing like having. I just think she took everything too seriously. That's why I don't think she's like really congenial.
She
Like,
got too. I think
did
she
she
got like
do? That was cool.
she got too defensive. I think
Yeah.
in some situations, but I think she did later apologize for that. Not just like after it aired, but like I think within like the shooting of the show and acknowledge like maybe bullying wasn't the right word, but she definitely kind of felt some type of way. But I mean, that's going to always, that type of situation is always going to happen when you have, the girls fighting over certain roles and certain things like that. There's always going to, like, somebody's going to end up wanting the same role as you want, and you're going to each have your own rhyme or reason why you deserve that, and it's going to, like, butt heads. But, I don't think anybody was bullied other than Lucy LaDuca.
You think Lucy LaDuca got bullied?
They ripped up the whatchamacallit, ripped up her photo.
Girl,
It was
girl.
who was what's that girl? STDs. STDs was like so mad. Like they said that she ripped up like Lucy's photo and Lucy like definitely felt some type of way. I think that's like probably the only act of bullying in terms of like, okay, so I guess my whole thing with the whole Lucy LaDuca situation, I feel like most people weren't really bullying her. I feel like they were just calling her out on just putting on a face. You know what I'm saying? It's just like everybody just wants her to be honest
Real.
and be her, being her truth, as opposed to just saying, oh, I just feel like this role is would just fit my character. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah. But the exciting now that season 15 of a regular season is over with, they have announced
All
the
Star
contestants
Wars.
for All Star. Where was it? 8 or 9 now?
Hey.
We're on All Star 8, and I'm excited to see some of the
Mm,
girls. Hold on,
this
because it's a
is a
long
bunch.
list.
This is a
It's,
bunch, honey.
so like, okay, before I go into my list, like, who did you saw the reveal, right?
I saw all of the queens. I met all. Yeah.
Okay, who are you most excited for the All Stars?
I hate to say it, but no, not. I don't hate to say it, but I'm excited for Candy Muse. I want to see. I want to see what
She brings the
she.
drama. She
Yeah, I want to
brings
see how she's grown. Like, I want to see if she can get her
for
redemption
sure.
arc. I want to see if they're gonna get that for her.
My
And Heidi
favorite,
in Closet. And Heidi
but
in
yeah,
Closet.
same. I love Heidi. Um, she looks like she's done better with makeup, and but she's always been funny. She always has personality, and I feel like that's gonna really take her very far this time.
My brother,
And
my brother thinks Jimbo is gonna win.
That could be a strong. Jimbo is tough competition too, because she's hilarious. But is
My brother
who?
said they're not gonna have her on there 3 times just to not give her the crown. I said they did that to Jujubee.
Yep, Jujubee still comes back for more. Every iteration of Drag Race, she is there, and she still gets paid. She still gets her coins. Um, I also like that Lala Ree is coming back because I feel like
Larry.
she. We understand not everybody is a seamstress,
That bag.
but she flipped the bag. She said like,
She
okay,
did. She
she's
got
getting
the
the
bag.
bag now. You know what I mean?
Getting the bag now.
You know what I mean?
I
Because
mean, it's so bad. It's iconic.
no one will ever forget that.
No
And
one will.
you know what I mean? And use that to your advantage. Now, who else like James Mansfield?
Oh my gosh. Wigs.
Wigs, the hair is going to be on a whole nother level. I've followed their YouTube channel for a little bit and has done miracles to the cheapest of wigs. So we know the hair is going to be right. And it'll be exciting to see because this is why I had an idea for an All Stars. Since we had an all winter season, I would have liked to see a pork chop season where
Oh,
all the girls that got, left first, if they could have a season to really like pull up all the stops. But they wouldn't be eliminated, so they would get like the most screen time, kind of like what they did with the all winter season. Um,
okay.
so that's what like I would like to see, but I mean James Mansfield, like again, I'm excited to see more of her and see what she brings to the table. We also have a season 2 queen, Jessica Wilde, and there was somebody else from like a very earlier season,
Darien Lake. Darien Lake.
Darian Lake. So like my question is like okay, oh, in season 5, Monica Beverly Hills
Yeah.
and Mrs. Kesha Davis,
Sasha.
Tasha. Okay.
She's from
So
season.
like my concern is like because the earlier seasons of Drag Race, it seems like it was very early budget. Uh and I think like if you go more into like the later compared to the later seasons of Drag Race, like the runways have the standard has gone up tremendously, and there have been new challenges that have been brought to the table somewhat in terms of production value and expectations. Do you think that the earlier season queens can keep up with the more newer queens? You're on mute. Can you hear me? Oh no, did we lose Aneara? All right, but let me know what you guys think in the chat. You can definitely sound off if you are a Drag Race fan. My concern, maybe a little worried for the earlier queens, the earlier season queens. As I kind of like stated in the question, like the stakes are always higher season after season after season. And the earlier season queens have a bit of an advantage because one, they were on like VH1, the earlier season queens, they were on Logo where Drag Race was a little more obscure. It hasn't been, was widely known in such a huge phenomenon. So it's interesting to see how, this generation of Drag Race fans will perceive some of the older queens. I think James Mansfield is going to be fine because, they have the YouTube channel. So they probably have, are more visible than probably some of the other ones, but it will be exciting. I think this will be a good season. It's gonna be on Paramount though, which is disappointing.
I
I
just
have
got Paramount Plus.
I don't want to pay for another subscription. If I end up getting Paramount Plus, I'm definitely cutting out cable for sure. You
Okay.
know, like it's so much. But like, how do you think the older queens from the earlier seasons going to fare against the newer queens, so to speak?
Well, like you said, I feel as though the younger audience are gonna push the older queens aside, or maybe they're not used to that old school drag verbatim. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm,
everyone's used to the Instagram, the TikTok. No one's used to like Kasha Davis. You can look at her and you can tell she's an old time drag queen. Like
mm,
she's probably not gonna have nothing in common with the newer, this like new fan base. So she might have a hard time like finding fans.
right, right. But it did this putting them on All Stars now will allow them to reintroduce them to the audience. So I mean, either way, you know, if you make it on Drag Race, you're always going to get some upside
I
to
also
it
did
as
not
well.
like Darian Lake on her season, so I'm not gonna like her now.
What did she do?
She's
Remember,
just
I didn't get to Drag Race till maybe like season 10. So
yeah.
like what did she do on her season? Was
Just
she the
thought she
villain?
yeah.
Mm,
They tried to make it Bianca, but Bianca won. Like no, Darian Lake is the villain of season 6.
What
I
what
just
were her what were some
didn't like
crimes?
her
What did she
attitude.
do?
I didn't like her attitude. I just didn't like what she was saying in the confessional. She was just giving, and she was in the bottom so many fucking times, but they kept trying to call her the lip sync assassin. No, bitch. Oh, sorry, but I just didn't care for her attitude. I didn't care for her. It's just my opinion.
All right, well, hopefully she won't blame it on the edit, and this will be very maybe this will be her redemption story. Maybe she'll be a little bit softer. Who knows? I feel like now because the fan base is so rampant on social media and people keep forgetting this reality TV, you know, they may, you know, kind of tone it down a little bit, but I'm hoping that there
I
be
don't think so.
just a little bit of drama, just a little bit. We got,
It's
I
gonna be
mean,
drama. You have a lot of personality
hmm
and Muse.
and
Half
don't
of
forget
the
Heidi. Heidi's gonna worry about Heidi. She's not gonna stand for like y'all messing with anybody else.
yeah, it's just like I'm ready for the season. This is a ookie kooky spooky group of ladies. This is an odd cast, but I'm ready to see what they bring. I don't know who's gonna win. I know who's gonna. Yeah, I know who's not, but I know who is. I don't know who is.
Yeah, so let's look for. Hopefully, they'll do the recap on YouTube, because that's probably how I'm gonna like, you know, get the feedback for sure, or to see what's going on. Um, but yeah, this is going to be a very exciting season. So, those of you know me, whether you follow me on my personal IG or my business one, y'all know that I am a huge Power Rangers fan, and for some months they have been showing trailers and promos for the Power Rangers Once and Always on Netflix, and this was such much needed special. I cannot tell you how big of a fan that I am. Me and my sister after school we will always tune in on Fox to watch the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I even had a chance to meet them. They're on my wall, got the pictures. Even the late great Jason David Frank. Um, but yeah, like I'm a hardcore Power Rangers fan. I even have the little watch communicator on my phone for notifications. This was a really good special. I is Power Rangers cheesy? Yes.
Yes,
Yes. Yes it is. But it's good cheese. It's the healthy cheese that we all need. Do I need the one-liners, the shady comments towards the villains? Yes, yes, yes. If you haven't got a chance to see it, make sure that you do. For this special, Billy was trying to bring back Zordon, but he inadvertently brings back Rita, and Rita is not playing around. She actually ends up killing one of the Rangers, Trini. They only did this in tribute to the actress who played Trini, who died in the early 2000s in a car accident. Um, but I thought this was a very touching tribute, and Zach and Billy are going back and forth. They're trying to figure out how to break the news to Trini's daughter, and yeah, they had to tell her that she's a ranger. And I really like how they like brought these characters back. Apparently Zach is a congressman. Billy is like head of this huge tech company. Um, but the other rangers, they get captured to fuel Rita's machine. Where her plan, she's trying to go back in time to where she can kill all the rangers. Um, it's about a little over an hour. I think if you are a true Power Rangers fan, you really watch it, and it's it's just such a it was just good to see these characters back in play. And they did a nice touching tribute to uh Trini and uh Jason David Frank. Hold on, let me look up the actress name for Trini because I don't want to keep calling her by her character's name. Um, here we go. Miss Trang. Um, but yeah, they did a really nice tribute. It really warmed my heart as a fan. Did you grow up watching Power Rangers, Aneara?
Yes, I sure did. I watched it when it was on Nickelodeon.
Oh, so that's probably what about like Dino?
Yeah, I watched Dino. I watched Mighty Morphin, but they I watched the reruns when they used to watch it on the kids on Fox. Like
Uh,
didn't watch it when it was like ripe, but like when they used to show Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon, they used to show Power Rangers as well.
right.
So I kind
Okay.
of grew up watching it as well. I didn't really stick to it when I grew up because as I grew up, when teenagers think everything's cheesy,
Mm.
they dump it. I used to be a big Dora fan, but grew out of that. So, um, but as a kid, I've always found it entertaining. I love the fight sequences. They always do the little martial arts moves while talking trash, like you said. It's a key. I always enjoyed watching it as a kid.
Okay, I have our viewer here is Ninja Storm was good. I'm trying to think. I think it fell off Power Rangers after it was not Lost Galaxy. This is another one. I think maybe they were like the cops, the MP SPD. I think that's where I kind of like fell off. So I didn't get a chance to see like some. I peeped back and forth to see some of like the newer iterations. Um, but yeah, I think Power Rangers is just such a staple in people's childhood, no matter what season. I think that like the fan base will always argue which one is the best season. I don't always argue Mighty Morphin Power Rangers for sure. Just because like that was just how me and my sister bonded. Um, but yeah, like I said, it's on Netflix now. So if you haven't had a chance to watch the special, that's something that you could even watch if you got kids now. You can watch it with your kids. But yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. It's good old fashioned cheese. All right. Now we're gonna ease into some more serious news. As we transfer out of like our good feel good time, but we gotta talk about Jonathan Majors. Okay. This is a situation, a case that has really broken my heart for sure. Um, like this was like an actor I saw that was really blossoming and really blowing up in the last few years. And this abuse assault case, if it is true, is definitely putting more than a dent in his career. It's so many updates from this. Hold on, because oh my god. There's a lot that happened recently. Like his PR team and his talent manager, Entertainment 360, have dropped him. He's it's so far confirmed to have been dropped from one movie project.
Oh
There are
my God.
rumors circulating that he may be replaced in Marvel as the big bad. Um, but that's just from one source. Other sources say that there hasn't been a conversation about that yet. Um, let's see. There have been photos and videos that surfaced of the ex-girlfriend at a club the day after the alleged assault. And then he said that he's not going to the Met Gala.
Okay.
Yep, that's a
That
lot.
that is, I'm not even trying to like derail from the situation, but him not going to the Met Gala is going to be a waste because that is a fine piece of man, and he definitely was going to wear something, you know, creative. I thought he was.
Yeah, I feel like after his was it GQ shoot,
I think it was GQ. I think it was GQ.
like he has like a team around him that could like dress him. So they definitely is going to be like that. That I would say this because there's two scenarios that this could go. If it isn't true, are we looking at another Amber Heard situation, like with Johnny Depp and her? Is Hollywood too quick to react until like they get all the details? Because I feel like some of the evidence that that's supposed to be either clearing his name, like it hasn't been coming out quick enough. You know what I'm saying? Like the timing of the release of this, like the footage of the girlfriend being apparently fine and being social and things like that. I'm like, shouldn't this been out some weeks ago, like closer to the time that
Yeah,
everything happened? You know what I mean? Because like now he's losing opportunities. He's going to be losing money. He is losing the opportunity to really be seen like the Met Gala. Like I, for the life of me, I cannot tell you the purpose of the event other than we're just gonna see some amazing looks from our favorite celebrities. But like, you know what I mean? That's where like you attract the most attention and you get the most press. And then rightfully so, like I don't blame him stepping away from the Met Gala because he's, receiving this negative attention. Um, which is a smart move on his part, but like, yo, he could lose the Marvel bag. And if this isn't true, then we maybe even see like a lawsuit down the line. But like, I don't know who the girlfriend is. It's not like I don't think she's an actress. I don't think that she is, you know, I don't know her monetary status or how wealthy she is. I don't know if he would ever even get the money that he may lose from these opportunities back from her. Now, if he did do it, because there's also been some reports of more women coming forward from alleged abuse from him. So we may be seeing a pattern of behavior that is now coming to light. Like, this is also very disheartening because, again, you have like this talented actor who has this dark side of him, apparent dark side here. And it's just basically just letting down everyone because as a society we're so quick to basically find a role model for those that may find it challenging to find one in their community. Someone is like really taken, I would say, non-stereotypical roles for a black guy and have really elevated these characters. But if he's out here abusing women, it's just like, yo, we're doing like, does Hollywood need to start like a vetting process when it comes to selecting their actors for the movies? Because it could bring such a huge hiccup in major franchises like Marvel.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, this is just it's just a sticky situation. It's just like it's heartbreaking. Um, don't know, like the text, them releasing the text messages wasn't really convincing. Um, I don't know if the photos and video clips could repair any of the damages, and I would like to hear more about these other women coming forward and just to kind of see where that goes. Like again, after the whole R. Kelly, Bill Cosby type situation, I think we need to refrain as a public because the public opinion can do damage on either side. That we just take the time to kind of look at what's there, see what is presented, see what the courts say, what law. Well, to be honest, I don't know if we can even trust what law enforcement and the courts could say either. Because the first time R. Kelly got let out,
Yeah, and he was obviously guilty. He was on tape.
so like, it's like what I mean. I don't. I really. I guess it's for me. Usually, we're really quick to say, "Oh yeah, he obviously did it," um, or like no, like you were able to take a side either way. It Yeah, it's really hard to trust law enforcement. You don't, depending on what state, you don't know how thorough of a job they're doing. You don't know if they are withholding evidence. It's yeah, it's tough out there, man. It's like we just have to just kind of do this emoji. We really don't know. We can't really say for sure if he's guilty or innocent. And if he is innocent, then these accusations are going to just destroy an innocent man. But if like he is
It's like you're
guilty,
guilty.
like I said, we just need like a better vetting process for Hollywood actors, especially if we're going to put them on a major franchise. And then is this also going to hurt future opportunities for other black actors as well? It's a mess, mess, mess. Hopefully we can get some answers soon because, um we just want the truth, nothing but the truth. But to be honest, there's no guarantee that we really know what happens until to be honest, I don't even know. I don't know what it really would take to either clear his name or hold him accountable. But there you have it. All right. Now even to so this is the next thing we're about to go into, it's like it's very weird. We've been dealing with a string of gun violence, mass shootings for, oh my God, just since January. It's just been off the charts. Now, the recent string of case, it hasn't been a mass shooting at all. It's just been instances of people being in the wrong place at the wrong time. And the fact that it happened all within a week is crazy to me. It's been so much. I couldn't really tell you everything in the instance. So like I found an Instagram post that could definitely help it explain it because like I honestly it is just it's just bizarre. You just have to check it out.
Pick up his siblings. He is only 16, walked up to the wrong house, rang the doorbell, and was shot twice. If anyone ever tells you that we don't have a gun problem in this country, I don't know what to say at this point. Okay, we need to talk. What do all 4 of these people have in common? They were all shot for the dumbest reasons possible. Kinsley White, a 6-year-old girl, shot because her basketball accidentally rolled into the wrong neighbor's yard. Peyton Washington, one of her friends reportedly got into the wrong car, but then once she realized she was in the wrong car, she got up, left, and went to the right car. The owner of the first car followed her and then shot her and her friends. Kaylin Gillis, her and her friends got lost in rural New York. They lost cell service. They drove up into the wrong driveway. As they were pulling out, the homeowner of said driveway came out and shot her and subsequently killed her. Ralph Yarl, he was trying to pick up his siblings. He is only 16, walked up to the wrong house, rang the doorbell, and was shot twice. If anyone ever tells you that we don't have a gun,
Like that, this is just beyond trifling, and I am absolutely disgusted because me as a person, I think all of us at one point get a little confused, get a little mixed up. We have a habit of going to the wrong place, not really. The GPS could be glitching, we go to the wrong spot, can easily misidentify a street. Do we deserve to die for it? Or even like the car situation like that. And again, this is just, again, these are 4 instances that have happened within a week, and they're young people. It's not like some dude in a mask or the Hunchback of Notre Dame rolling up to your spot. These are like innocent looking kids. Like, come on now. Do they really pose threat to anybody? No. The cheerleaders, like, this is all of them piss me off generally. The cheerleader one is what like really really scares me. Okay, she got in the wrong car. She got out. If I was a person that was in the car and somebody got in, I would be spooked. I'd be like, but I'm not going to follow her to the other car and shoot her. Like I think that dude is currently charged with like 3rd degree. That's given more second or first, to be honest, because he
Very
had,
intentional.
yeah, like he didn't have to follow her to the car. She wasn't a threat. She got out. She left.
Yeah,
You
she
did.
realized she made a mistake and then she fixed it. Like, I don't understand what's the purpose of going around shooting people. And this is what we're talking about with these crazy gun laws. Need to
Didn't
have gun control. Like, instances like this should not happen. Like, these are kids. Kids are endangered. Kids are out here fighting for their lives because trigger happy adults are going around making these laws. And this is ridiculous.
it is absolutely disgusting. Ralph's case, it just makes me sick because this 84-year-old sees this young black kid who just rings the doorbell. He's not scratching out a window, he's not tinkering with the locks. He just rings the doorbell, assuming he's gonna like pick up his siblings, shoots him in the head, and then shoots him again when he's on the ground. It is a miracle that this kid is still alive. That he was able to run to the neighbors, even though they weren't really helping at first. And then one of the neighbors that sort of helped still called the police on them and told them like get on the ground and not move. Like I'm looking at this kid. This kid is a musician. This kid is like being a good older sibling to pick up his family, and then it's being treated like a common criminal. It is a miracle that he's currently recovering at home. It is a miracle that he is alive right now. The
It
84-year
truly
year
is.
old Andrew Lester, he's been charged and in custody. Like, what is an 84-year-old doing with a gun?
Exactly. I don't understand. Like, you need. I understand people are scared for their safety, but to the extent of shooting children is not okay. Like, y'all need. If y'all gonna have the guns, y'all need to be. It needs to be responsible. Y'all need to be responsible enough to have those weapons. Those are weapons. At the end of the day, they're dangerous. It can. They're fatal. Like, it doesn't make any sense as to why you are. First of all, if he rang the doorbell, why are you shooting at him? It's just
Right, like
giving. Like, I don't want to bring up the race card, but this feels racially motivated. You know, like we weren't talking about it, I just feel it's just under. It's the underlying issue for me.
I think for Ralph's case is definitely a race issue. This has happened like in the shoot for the four instances that we have gone over. Like it has been the shooter has been a different ethnicity from white, black to Latino. Part of it is like, are we in a hyper state of paranoia where we think everybody is out to get us? Is this a result of fear mongering from the media and what we see on social media? Like, I just think, but like you said before, people that have guns need a license to carry. They need proper training, the same as law enforcement, so that they can make sound decisions and determine what is an actual threat.
Yeah,
None of these incidents, like these people were not actual threat. Like the car thing, like made it like said like that would spook me. Like, oh my God, but she's a cheerleader. I'm pretty sure she was very apologetic. Because we've all done that. I've accidentally, went into the men's room because I wasn't paying attention. Because a lot of times your brain just be on autopilot. You're not alone in that, right?
I've never gone to. I think.
It was the door.
I'm
Okay, so the door was open and I couldn't
not
see the
judging
sign.
you,
But I'm just saying, like there are times like we just all accidentally went into the wrong the
area.
wrong
Yeah,
spot. Yeah, it's just like we're not like 100% paying attention. We're either on our phones or we just like are just really bad with direction. It shouldn't be a death sentence. You know what I mean? Like people have to make the discernment between like what is an innocent mistake and like an actual threat. And if you can't do that, then you can't have a gun. But
exactly.
and what other people have to understand is like when you have a weapon, there's this concept called like the weapons effect. So my professor used this example of like the guy, he was in bed with his wife and she was just like chatting up a storm, like basically talking his ear off. And eventually like he got tired. He kept a shotgun like underneath his pillow, so just inadvertently, because he was like so annoyed with her, he took out the shotgun and just like shot her, just out of like annoyance. So it's just like, would he have went out the way to kill her if that gun wasn't there? I would say most likely not, but because like the weapon was in his
Easily accessible.
proximity, yeah, that they're going to just end up using it. So like that should also be part of the conversation when we start we need to start creating legislation at a federal level when it comes to guns. I know Biden, um he did an executive order, but I think it was like with background checks. He hasn't really done the exact an executive order to ban certain weapons, which that needs to be on the next level because there's too many young people dying, not just from like mass shootings, but just of instances of them just, making innocent mistakes. And they shouldn't be in harm's way because of that. So, but like again, we're most likely are just going to get thoughts and prayers from politicians. Somebody's going to come up with a petition, you know, against something. It's just it's an uphill battle that nobody wants to climb at this point. It's becoming exhausting. to even talk about these cases because at the end of the day, this situation happened to different ethnicities. We and still there nothing will be done. Doesn't matter if it happened to a black kid, white kid, Latino, boy, girl, straight or gay. It honestly doesn't matter at this point. Congress is just too cold-blooded to do anything to protect children from an actual threat. It's giving, should we just not be in America anymore? That's what's kind of giving. Oh, since we've been dealing with random beefs that have just been, happening in these instances, there's one beef that's gone way too far, and that is a beef that's on Netflix. If you have not seen this, you are missing out. Now, I will say first, this is not the typical show that I would usually watch, but because it's so many people are giving this show its flowers, I was like, well, let me check it out because I'm a fan of Ali Wong and Steven Yeun. So I was like, let me just check this out. Let me see, because maybe I'm expecting this to be a bizarre comedy, but it is so much more than that. All right. So if you've probably seen in the trailers, the premise of the show is that we start off with Danny, who is just having a really bad day, bad life in general. And he gets finally pushed to a limit where he gets cut off in the parking lot, and it becomes this whole road rage incident. Um, he loses that road rage, and it basically became his life mission to get revenge. And it is very bizarre. He goes through this, he spends the little bit of money that he doesn't have. By the way, there'll be spoilers. So just FYI. He spends a little bit of money that he doesn't have to try to track this person down in this road rage incident, finds the house, realizes it was a woman, Amy, played by Ali Wong, and then pees all over her bathroom.
Ew. It was so yellow.
Like, on top of his poverty and bad luck, he didn't hydrate. He's
Like
not
how for
drinking.
long are you? He's not drinking water. He's not drinking enough fluids. That's why he's probably going. That's why he's probably that angry. That's the trauma. Dehydration.
Like, it was just. Then Amy, she's not going to stand for it because she is a hardworking mother that is working to keep up this upscale lifestyle and one day to make enough money where she doesn't have to work anymore and just spend time with her child. I'm already, this is, I feel this is, would connect with so many people. Most people probably just thought, oh, it's just an Asian show, but I'm like, if you look at the character breakdown for, each character in this show, I'm pretty sure if you watch it, you could identify with somebody. It's very relatable content. And, she's not going to stand for it. She's going to seek out revenge. And, um, it's like, who do you think got the best of who in this series? Like, which prank, assault, vandalism do you think hit harder?
I'm gonna give you two examples. I'm gonna give you one is when Danny's parent. That wasn't even a get back. It was just like that was on his own accord. Never mind. It was on his own accord. Faulty
Yeah.
wiring. That was on his fault.
Mhm.
I'm gonna just say when Amy's kid got taken away from her.
Ooh.
I feel like that hit hard for her because she loved, I forgot her name, her daughter. But she was really fighting to keep them together, her and her husband and her family. I feel like him just, getting a divorce, getting that divorce out of him, and getting the custody of the child really took. She was like, I have nothing left to lose. Like she was really broken after that.
Yeah, I can see that. I feel like, but that was like, I don't think he mean to kidnap her. Like she just like ended up in the car. Um, say, hmm, I don't know. It's very weird because it was just like a feud that lasted way longer than it needed to be. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But it was just like still like what okay, so I don't know if this was direct correlation with Danny. I can't remember if she started catfishing the brother before the beef started or after.
No, she did after.
Okay. And I don't know if I feel like that kind of hurt. I think she ended up hurting herself. It was
She
like,
ended up
okay,
hurting Paul.
and yeah, because like, so she's um, catfished Paul, Danny's brother Paul. And first, I'm thinking, okay, maybe this would kind of be good for her because maybe she just needed a break from her mundane life. Like she's a mother, she's working hard and being a businesswoman and trying to get this deal, but she can't really let loose with her husband. Her husband is a bit a sweetheart, but is a little bit clueless and a little like oversimplifying what she's really going through. Like he's just saying that, oh, it's depression, but it's not as simple as that. There's a lot of layers and things that she's dealing with currently as a working mom, and also dealing with a lot of baggage from her home life. Them going to couples therapy wasn't enough. Um, things like that. I mean, if she's resorting to like masturbating with a gun just to get her kicks, like first of all, that divorce been coming, whether Paul was in the picture or not. I'm gonna just say that. Um, the situation with Paul, I feel like it would have been fine if she didn't sleep with him. If she didn't sleep with him, that could have been a healing relationship that could have really helped. I was just like, she just couldn't resist. And then I think like at first it was probably just to get back to Danny, but as they started bonding, I think that like she started to really sympathize with Danny. It's more like she sided with Paul, or was more sympathetic towards Paul. Um, I don't know. That's like a very complicated situation. Um, but as we mentioned earlier, this feud really escalated. At one point, it seems that they were going to leave each other alone, that they were getting what they want out of life, finally, making their dreams come true, and then it just re-escalates. But we get like, I do like in the series that they give a little bit more background um on each character, so we just understand their motivation. Um, apparently Amy has, I don't know, this curse about secrets. She just like she kept a secret about like her dad having an affair and being a thief. Um, kept the secret of being a sexual deviant. Um, like just like having this like ugly side of her. And then with Danny's situation, it's just like at first in the series we think that Paul is heavily codependent or dependent on Danny, but turns out it's the other way around. Like Danny sabotaged Paul's life so that they could still be together. And like that was messed up. Like that was just disgusting to me. Cause like how you gonna throw away his college applications? How are you like why do you and
Yeah,
then
that was messed up.
he's the one that got his parents like he cost his parents the hotel because he was letting his
And
cousin
beforehand.
like it was just it seemed like Danny is just a very toxic person that just seems to mess up everybody's life. Everybody around him. Even though there's some people around him that trying to help and want him to succeed, it's just like he just sabotages it in some shape or form. And it's really messed up. Like, I think, but the ending was a little weird for me. So after the whole kidnapping of Amy's daughter, it ends up like with the boss that she's or the person she closed the deal with. Um, because apparently, it wasn't Danny that was holding the daughter for ransom. It was his cousin Isaac who went to prison because Danny sold him out. Danny utilized the money that Isaac was saving for, was it the Philippines?
No, it was the wait. It was it the Vietnamese?
Apparently, Isaac was saving the money to get himself out of trouble for people that he owed. I'm gonna say that. And Danny spent it all, and so Isaac took the opportunity to hold the child for ransom. Amy is like, I can't get the money, all of that in one day, but you can rob my well, it's not her boss, somebody she did business with. That's a whole billionaire. Just come to this place, rob her, will be good. And then that snowballed so fast. Like, Jesus Christ. Um, daughter is safe. Well, it was a whole shootout with the police. We didn't even know if Danny's brother was okay because they were just all there together. Um, Danny eventually confesses to Paul that, oh yeah, I threw away your application. Just so we could get him to move on because he couldn't hoist him up over the wall. Like he couldn't grab his hand or none of that. And then we all we hear is gunfire, and we don't know if, for the longest time we didn't know if Paul survived or not. Um, but after the whole hostage situation and the shootout is cleared, we know that Amy's daughter is safe because her dad came and picked her up. Um, but then she is like determined to chase after Danny, another road rage incident, and then they end up like falling over the cliff. And because like no cell service, no way to get home, they're both injured. They at this point have no choice but to just talk things out. Is that what it takes to get stubborn people to like really work out their issues? Just isolate them in the desert, no food, no water. I feel like that would be a gimmick for the therapeutic retreat. I feel like somebody's gonna do that. Um, but and then they eat some bad berries that makes them sick and hallucinate, and but eventually they get a signal, they give some reception. Them thinking nobody would really love them or come out to save them. Turns out, there's people that do care for them. They find their way to the tunnel, and then Amy's husband shoots Danny, and then they're hugged up in the hospital bed because they have a better understanding of each other. And I guess that squashes the beef. Either way, I think this was a very interesting and different show that kind of sheds light to the inner workings of some, like, an angry person. Like, a lot of times it may not just, basically this was a very exaggerated nigger moment. If you don't know what that is, if you watch Boondocks, um, there was an episode, like a whole little nigger moment, when somebody, it's simple as stepping on someone's shoe in the middle of the street, and it just escalating to the point where they end up just killing each other. This series seems like that. It is a very extensive, long nigger moment, for sure. Because at any point, any, like, sane person that is well off would have easily just let this go. But when it comes to instances of rage, you never know what's going on in someone's life. They could have easily um been going through something. Danny was like very suicidal. Apparently, he bought all these grills to kill himself with carbon monoxide, which is very elaborate, by the way. Uh-uh. Um, but yeah, a lot of times, like, a person can be like stressed out with all the extra responsibility or the lack of time that they can really spend with their loved ones. It sometimes is a little bigger than that one instance or that one situation. And it is difficult to, or at least not difficult, but we should come from a standpoint and realize, like, oh, this person may be really going through something right now. Like, could be dealing with some type of obstacle or situation that is making them feel this way, and this was just the final straw on the camel's back, and they just completely broke down and lashing out on someone who is really had nothing to do with the situation. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out, please do, and recommend it to your friends. It is a really good show. But there has been a little bit of controversy in regards to the show. One of the actor that plays Isaac, David Cho, has been on the news a little. He's under fire for his comments that he made in 2014. So on a podcast called DVD ASA, um he claims this was some elaborate art project that he did for shock value. Um He told a story about an interaction he had with a masseuse in which he coerced her into a non-consensual sexual act. Um, he was saying that he was when it did air, when the podcast did air, he said he's not a rapist, and that the story was used to provoke a reaction and was not a representation of his reality. He has since apologized for that story. Um, and has done other series. Like, he's all over FX. And even had his own show where he was like painting his guest, the Cho show. So he's like pretty, well known. The creators of the show Beef are aware of the situation and denounce his actions. But at the same time, they do recognize, like, he has apologized and has grown from that situation. Um, personally, I think it was a little weird that he made that comment. Or like would even say like it was just weird. Like, granted, I'm no artist, but like I feel like that is a very bizarre comment to make just for shock value and very harmful as well. Hopefully this situation doesn't deter people from watching Beef because Beef, I feel like a lot of people could benefit from seeing it because like I saw a lot of similarities between an Asian culture and the Black culture, especially when it comes to therapy and healing. Amy's character often talked about how her family didn't, they held a lot of things in. They didn't really talk about their feelings or certain situations. It was just all swept all under the rug. And that's not very good or very healing, and how she kind of recognizes how that she um has developed that same trait. And that's true in the Black community as well. It's like people don't really recognize mental illness. People don't um understand why holding something in or just kind of brushing off certain situations is more harmful than beneficial. So I'm really glad that they were bringing that to the forefront. Again, if you have Netflix or you have a friend who has Netflix, make sure that you check this out. I highly recommend it. As we close out the show, it's a very good show. But just a couple of reminders. Don't forget about the contest that I'm having for you to guess who I will be cosplaying for Plus Ultra's Villains Ball. That is May 20th. I've been dropping clues in my episodes, most of my episodes. So make sure that you go back and listen to those episodes for those clues. I'm pretty sure once you piece everything together and listen to all of them, it will start to become clear. You will submit your answer through Twitter, or you can tag me on Instagram at Noir Vibes DC hashtag Villains Ball. With this next clue, this villain has is on Cartoon Network. All right, so hopefully that'll start ringing some bells a little bit. I'm very excited for the Villains Ball because I have pretty much like the whole outfit down packed. Um, yeah, I'm very excited because I feel like I can really pull this character off, and of course, Plus Ultra just throws some amazing parties. Please make sure that you follow them on Instagram, so you can be up to date on everything that they're doing and actually go. Again, you can make sure that you follow me on Instagram at Noir Vibes DC. Make sure that you stay tuned because some major changes are coming, and you need, I'm gonna keep saying this, you need to make sure that you follow me to get those updates. Some pretty amazing stuff is coming through, and I'm super excited for. Thank you again, Aneara, for being a co-host and joining me on this podcast. I really appreciate you so much. And again, I appreciate my followers, my listeners for joining me on Twitch. And of course, this will be up the next day on YouTube and the audio podcast. Make sure that you also share my audio podcast because in order for me to get remonetized, I need 100 listeners. I need 100 listeners on the Spotify account. All right, so make sure that you can share it. You can even re-listen to this episode while you're cooking, cleaning, driving, whichever way have you. And again, make sure that you share on your social media. Again, I appreciate you guys for sticking with me. Love it. And don't forget, you can't go wrong when you go with the flow. I will catch you guys again Friday at 6:30 on Twitch. All right. Say bye to the people, Aneara. Are you still there? Did you? I guess Aneara rolled out. That's fair. All right. I'll see you guys. Bye.